The sound of gentle rain whispered against the window as dawn began to bloom over Beijing. Inside a quiet villa surrounded by cherry blossoms, a man stood before the mirror, adjusting the cuff of his white shirt. Wang Yibo had faced flashing cameras, roaring engines, and the wild applause of thousands of fans. But nothing had ever made his heart race quite like this moment. Today, he was going to marry Xiao Zhan. The thought alone made his lips curl into a soft smile, one that even he couldn't hide. Their love had been something delicate at first, hidden behind the heavy curtains of fame and expectations. Two men who had once shared the same stage, the same spotlight, but had long since begun to share something far deeper. It wasn't an instant spark or a sudden confession. It was quiet, patient, and real. He remembered the first time he met Xiao Zhan years ago. Yibo was still the quiet one, known for his calm expression, while Xiao Zhan's warmth seemed to fill every space he entered. During long hours on set, they had talked about work, about art, about dreams. And somewhere between the laughter and the silence, affection took root. They didn't even notice when admiration turned into love. The world had always been watching, but behind those cameras, there were glances, small smiles, a touch of reassurance when things became too heavy. They learned to communicate without words, to hold on to each other quietly even when they couldn't do it publicly. And now, after all those years, Yibo was ready to stand before him with nothing to hide. The wedding was intimate, held in a private garden just outside the city. White roses lined the path, and the scent of rain mixed with the sweetness of flowers. There were no flashing cameras, no reporters, just a few trusted friends and family. The piano played softly, the melody echoing the rhythm of two hearts finally at peace. When Xiao Zhan walked toward him, Yibo forgot to breathe. Dressed in a cream-colored suit, he looked both elegant and tender, like a memory painted in light. Their eyes met halfway, and everything else disappeared. "You look nervous," Xiao Zhan teased with a smile that could still melt Yibo's composure after all these years. "You always do that," Yibo replied, voice low but filled with affection. "You make me forget I'm supposed to look cool." Their laughter broke the tension, a small moment of normalcy in something so extraordinary. When it was time to exchange vows, the soft rain stopped as if the sky itself wanted to listen. Xiao Zhan's hands trembled slightly as he held Yibo's. "We walked through storms and silence," he began, his voice gentle but steady. "There were times I thought love like ours would never find a place in the world. But you taught me to be brave, to love quietly and live honestly. You are my calm, my home, and my reason." Yibo's throat tightened. His eyes glistened, and when he spoke, his words carried the weight of everything they had endured. "You once said dreams matter only if you share them with someone. I didn't understand that back then. But now I do. You are my dream, Xiao Zhan." And it came true. There were tears in Xiao Zhan's eyes, soft smiles from the guests, and a warmth that wrapped around everyone present. When they sealed their vows with a kiss, it wasn't a spectacle. It was tender, simple, and full of truth. For once, they didn't have to hide who they were or what they felt. That night, after everyone had left, the villa was quiet again. Rain returned, tapping softly against the window as the two of them sat together on the couch, still in their wedding clothes. Yibo had undone his tie, his hair slightly messy, while Xiao Zhan was scrolling through his phone, laughing softly at messages from fans who had already begun to celebrate online. "They're happy for us," Xiao Zhan said, eyes glowing. "They always wanted us to have a happy ending." "So did I," Yibo murmured. He reached over, taking Xiao Zhan's hand and kissing the back of it gently. We spent years living for others, pretending for the camera. Maybe now, we can finally live for ourselves. Xiao Zhan smiled, resting his head on Yibo's shoulder. We already are. They stayed like that for a long time, listening to the rain, to their breathing, to the quiet that finally felt like peace. For the first time in years, they didn't need to say much. Love existed in the silence between words. The next morning, sunlight filtered through the curtains, golden and soft. Xiao Zhan woke first. Yibo was still asleep beside him, face calm and innocent in a way only seen in moments of true rest. Xiao Zhan traced his fingers lightly along Yibo's hair, smiling to himself. Dreams really do come true, he whispered. Without opening his eyes, Yibo smiled faintly. You talk too much in the morning. Xiao Zhan chuckled. And you love it. Their laughter filled the room, light and genuine. It felt like the start of something new, something free. Weeks later, their wedding photos began to spread quietly online. Fans across the world shared them with tears and joy, celebrating the love story that had once seemed impossible. But for Yibo and Xiao Zhan, the photos were just fragments. The real story was in the mornings they woke up side by side, in the small gestures, in the peace of knowing they had chosen each other despite everything. They moved to a quieter neighborhood where the air was clear and the world seemed softer. There were no paparazzi, no scripts, just life, ordinary, gentle, real. Sometimes, when Xiao Zhan painted near the window, Yibo would come up behind him, wrapping his arms around his waist and resting his chin on his shoulder. Can you believe we made it here? Yibo would whisper. And Xiao Zhan would smile, leaning into him. We didn't just make it. We lived it. Their love had never been about grand gestures. It was built on patience, respect, and quiet courage. It grew slowly, steadily, like sunlight after rain. Dreams Come True was not just the title of their story. It was a promise kept, a testament to what love could be when two people dared to hold on. Because sometimes, the most beautiful love stories are not written for the world to see. They are lived quietly, sincerely, and forever. And for Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan, that was more than enough.